let's move on to the Middle East. And Eunice, you will be able to fill us in far better than anyone else what's going on. Eunice, do you want to give us a quick summary of what's been going on?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Israel has destroyed Hezbollah. What is Hezbollah? Hezbollah is basically a functioning arm of the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's a Shia entity, and basically they reside in southern Lebanon. They were formed in 1982, and the sole purpose of Hezbollah was to basically destroy Israel, because what happened in 1978 is that Lebanon attacked Israel. Israel won that war, occupied southern Lebanon, and then they gave it back because they were like, look, we want peace, we'll give your land back. But during that time, Hezbollah was created with the aid of the Islamic Republic. So Hezbollah was planning on basically shooting thousands of rockets and basically causing another October 7th massacre. Mossad found out about this, and they preemptively basically killed all their leaders, such as Hassan Nasrallah, and all others basically destroyed their infrastructure. As with Hamas, they have rockets in buildings, so they destroyed all those rockets, and now Israel has, resumed a ground invasion of southern Lebanon. Because Iran is in a very weak position right now, because Hamas is pretty much destroyed and so is Hezbollah, and these are the two main arms or tentacles of the Islamic Republic. Iran was in a very almost embarrassed position because they killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. How can someone, the leader of Hamas, die in the capital of Tehran? That just shows you how incompetent the Islamic Republic of Iran is, as they can't protect a head terrorist. So Ismail Haniyeh is dead. Hassan Nasrallah is dead. Yahya Sinwar is either dead or almost dead. And Yahya Sinwar is the only surviving member. He keeps the hostages with him, so Israel can't kill him or can't bomb him, because if they bomb him, then they'll also kill the hostages. And that's how much of a coward the guy is. But anyway, so now Iran is in a position where the whole world is laughing at them, because for 46 years now, they've been chanting death to Israel. And they haven't done anything in the last year, if you truly think about it. So you've been chanting death to Israel for 46 years, but when your moment comes, you don't actually do anything. So basically, Israel and Netanyahu has called Iran's bluff. And yesterday, Iran, because they had no option, they literally had no option. They had to do something, otherwise there would be a laughing stock. So what they done, they threw or strike 200 ballistic missiles towards Israel last night. Overwhelming, all of them, majority of them, were struck down by the Iron Dome. One exploded at launch site and killed 5 IRGC members. Another rocket just killed a Palestinian civilian. So, and 0 Israeli civilians are dead so far. So Iran's big attack only led to 5 of their own people dying and 1 Palestinian. So that's a bit of a joke in itself, So now, because Iran has struck Israel twice now on 2 different occasions, one in April and one recently, Israel now has the go-ahead by the international community, such as America. Even UK, Keir Starmer came out and gave a speech yesterday in support of Israel. Israel can now go ahead and strike Iran's nuclear facilities and also kill heads of state on Iranian soil. And I think by what Mossad said and what Netanyahu said, they will start their operation tonight. Okay, if it's not already started. I haven't checked. So this could really be a new dawn for the Middle East, because I truly think the Islamic Republic, they act tough, but they're not tough. They're a bunch of cowards. All they can do is kill Iranian women, and all they can do is to throw young Persian boys in jail because they had an opinion online. When it comes to war, first of all, technologically, they're not as advanced as they think. And second of all, I just think Russia and China doesn't support them like they think they would. So Israel, if they go after Iran's nuclear facilities, and if they manage to kill people like Khamenei, and we combine that with a strong opposition of people such as Shahzadeh Reza Pahlavi, and there's an uprising within Iran similar to those that happened 2 years ago with the whole Mahsa Amini protest, I think that this could be the last chapter for Iran. And if the Islamic Republic of Iran falls, this will be a new dawn for the Middle East. Okay? The reason why the Middle East has been in such a mess is because there was a revolution back in 1979 caused by President Carter, let's keep it real, and the British, and they replaced the Shah with a Islamic Republic, and soon they realized that these guys can't be trusted, and now they've been trying 46 years to get them out. And this is literally the last step. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, next year, or the year after. This is the last chapter of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and I hope very soon we will witness the collapse of the Middle East, the collapse of the Islamic Republic, because the whole Middle East will be freed. Now we have Saudi Arabia on board. Iran is an absolute goldmine. I said this in a video today. We have holiday resorts, we have beautiful culture, we have islands, we have seas, we have beautiful weather, we have everything. We have mountains we can ski on. We've got everything. Iran is an absolute goldmine. Plus we have oil and gas. And now the whole energy price is going up. Imagine Iran enters the market. Imagine how much of a boost that will be for the market to have such a rich country with such a rich culture entering the market, liberated. There's going to be loads of investment opportunities for people to come and invest. The same with Dubai, but I think it's going to be even better than Dubai. So it's really exciting times, and I hope the Islamic Republic will soon collapse.
Yeah, I mean, summarised what's going on far better than I possibly could. So it's great that we've got you here, Yunus, to explain it all. And I think it's really interesting what you're saying there and what you said in your video earlier, which everyone should go check out, about what this could mean for the long run, what Israel is doing now. This isn't just about Gaza, it's not just about southern Lebanon. This could really bring an end to Islamist extremism, or at least massively reduce it in the Middle East, and free a lot of people. If the Islamic Republic were to fall in Iran, I mean, as you say, it's an amazing country that's got huge potential. So I think that's really interesting. And a lot of people will call Israel an aggressor, right? But as you were saying there, Yunus, what they did in Lebanon, what they did taking out those Hezbollah leaders, that was in response to them finding out that something like October 7th was about to happen. So of course it was completely warranted, but that's not necessarily what you don't see that explained in the media. You just see Israel's attacked Lebanon and everyone thinks, they're aggressors, they want to kill people. I mean, they definitely improve their credibility, as you explained it in one of your videos, Yunus, by showing that they can do a targeted attack, because they really closely targeted those Hezbollah leaders rather than taking out swathes of innocent mothers and children and other civilians in the public. So this has definitely been a win for Netanyahu at a time when he was definitely struggling. But I want to bring it back to the UK, because you'll definitely have plenty of people here thinking, well, this is all going on in the Middle East, but I just care about my country. How is this going to affect me here? But I was quite concerned by... So Patrick Christie's did a monologue last night on GB News. He was talking about how we're hearing from Iran and Hezbollah that they're going to activate Hezbollah sleeper cells in the UK, in countries like the UK, in countries that are friends of Israel, if Israel responds. And I just want to show you, if I change the screen, if you guys can see this, him talking to Maya about this, and then I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, Yunus, as to whether you think this is a genuine threat or not. So let's just take a listen to this.
People in this country should be worried. What the Iranian regime have been doing for the past few decades is they've planted their people, and they're on different levels. So you actually have some of them publicly. The sons and daughters of the IRGC leaders are living in luxury in places like Chelsea and Kensington. They go to nightclubs, they do drugs and alcohol, they do whatever they want while their parents are oppressing the people in the country. And there have been some people in the past, the analysts have said, well, that might have been MI5's tactic to keep them close here, to keep an eye on them. But that's just one layer. You actually have the rest of them, who are not necessarily Iranian, but they are the proxies. So there could be, for example, Hezbollah members. They are all not currently activated. And these people would be activated if the Islamic Republic of Iran is about to fall. And the other problem is that there's a third layer, which is basically the rest of the brainwashed Islamists, who some of them would join the pro-Palestinian protests. And these are the people who would cause trouble. But the good thing about the Islamist side is that they're going to say, oh, it's just a lone wolf. It's just an isolated incident. They're not going to take responsibility.
So what would that look like then? Do you think that we could seriously now be on the brink of, not just here in Britain, by the way, but I would imagine right across Western Europe, Iran being able to activate sleeper cells?
Yes, I mean, we haven't really taken seriously threats from others, including the Chinese Communist Party that have had secret police stations in Manhattan, in London, and other places. The Iranian regime as well, and they have their own versions of these sort of entities. And the Canadian government, the British government, the US Democrats, for example, they've been funding these Islamists. They've been giving them money. They've been actually cooperating behind closed doors because the tactic is the strategy is always to de-escalate. They didn't really think about the consequences. We can actually have problems. For example, myself, a lot of people would know if they watch my channel that I've been targeted outside where I live by people who are linked to the embassy. Of course, the authorities help keep me safe. We had another British Iranian journalist who was also stabbed in London a few months ago. These things will happen on a regular basis.
I was on his show.
It's not just about those with links to Iran, but it will be other people as well.
Yeah, the threat would be any country that supports Israel in what it's doing in any way, shape, or form can get it, as far as they are concerned.
The ordinary.
So this is a great video. First of all, like, can you send me the link of this video? I'm going to repost it on my Twitter. But what I've got to say about this is that actually, funnily enough, I actually know some of these people that are the children of IRGC members, and obviously they will never come out and say we are the sons and daughters of IRGC members. But it's funny because they're like all 25, 30, 35 years old, and they're all driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and they live in the best places in Kensington and Chelsea and in, you know, Vauxhall, Embassy Gardens, and they go to the Sky Pool, you know. And they come to this country, and it's very obvious there's like something off about them. And I always I knew them when I was like 26 years old, and I partied with them, and I didn't really judge them, but just by the way they talked, I could tell that these people are connected to the regime. They, as he said, they do drugs, they do alcohol, you know, they bring girls, and whilst their parents are the ones, you know, lashing people for doing the exact same things in Iran. And these are the guys that get money that belongs to the people of Iran, which is oil money. Instead of giving it to the people and improving the economy, they give it to their kids so they can come and live in luxury and do whatever they want without any consequences while the Iranians are dying. And it's funny because I actually have a few people like that still on my Instagram, and they're always in a different location. They're in Dubai, they're in LA, they're in New York, they're living it up. And I actually fell out with a few of them. Obviously, we never had that conversation. Well, I know your dad works for the IRGC. And some of them I actually do know. I would never, you know, call their bluff, you know. I would never say to them that I know your dad works for the IRGC. But it's funny because sometimes they responded to my videos, oh, you betrayed the Iranian people. How can you be supporting Israel? I was like, no, the Islamic Republic of Iran is not Iran. Islamic Republic of Iran.
So these kids that are coming, well, I say kids, but you know, young people, coming and living here, and it seems like they're living a very different life to what the Islamic regime would say, you know, all this drinking alcohol, partying, I'm guessing the girls not covering themselves up and whatnot. Is that a sign that they've been westernized and they don't believe what the Islamic regime does, or they're just total hypocrites?
The thing is, the infiltration is much deeper than you think. These people, some of them even grew up here, right? Some of them even grew up here. So I give you another example. So the guy had an argument with, oh, you betrayed Iran because you support Israel. I was like, no. You're the one betraying Iran, because the Islamic Republic is not Iran. An Islamic Republic is a terrorist organization that has hijacked Iranian and Persian culture, right? Iranians, A, are not Muslim, and B, they are very liberated, very fun. They're Persians. They're not even Arabs. We're a complete different race. We're Aryans, right? So, and I give you another example. There's this guy, and these two guys I can reveal. There's this guy called Puyan Mokhtari, and if you go on his Instagram, he's got 6 million followers. And there's this other girl called Donya, Donyya, and she's got like 16 million. And I actually knew both of them, and I didn't know what they done because I met them out and about, and I used to go on their Instagram. I was like, oh wow, 6 million followers. And they were like, yeah, I'm a singer, I'm a celebrity, this and that, blah blah blah. And then one of my friends told me, I was like, look, these people work for the regime. These are just people that come out and pretend to be like the Kardashian or the celebrities, but what's actually behind them is the Islamic Republic. And how they made their money is that through the Islamic Republic, they set up websites outside of Iran, because in Iran, gambling is illegal, right? So they set up websites like domains in Turkey, so people in Iran could bet on games, right? And when people bet it, they just stole their money. So even if they won, the betting shop didn't give. So they basically stole from the Iranian people, and they are supported by the regime. And I think this is the strategic move by the Islamic Republic to infiltrate and basically pretend that they've got basically spies. They've got spies either covered in a celebrity manner, or just people that they send their kids, oh yeah, go out and about, what's London like, tell us what London's like, what's the club like, what is the they even invest money. This is the thing, they invest money. Like, I know someone that his dad was working for the IRGC, and they, I think, bought a building somewhere in UK. So they infiltrated that deep that they are investing money into the UK. They own buildings, not just in the UK, in LA, like especially in LA.
And that probably means the UK government won't want to cut ties with these people because
yeah, exactly. And I thought that for a long time. But obviously they would never come out and say it. They would never come out and admit. But I know that they are, because of the way they act and because of some sources that I have. Yeah.
So Alex, getting to you. Sorry, I haven't come to you for a while, but it was
it's really interesting.
All of Eunice's insight that he has. But all of us here, we all live in London. Obviously, the most likely place for a terror attack, if there were to be one. Does this talk of sleeper cells, does it scare you, Alex? Do you think that we genuinely could see terror attacks in the near future in the UK from Hezbollah? Or do you think that this is just, all talk and no action just to try and scare Israel out of responding?
Well, the most important thing is we should never change our lives for terrorists. That's their aim. That's the goal of terrorism. It's to scare you into complying with what they want you to do. So as much as it can be a frightening place, London, for many other reasons than just terrorists these days, thanks to our mayor, I don't try to take them too seriously, if I'm being honest. The threat is there, and our security forces are some of the best in the world. And I hope that they will be the first people to respond when they find out who these people are, and can get there before anyone's ever injured. If there is any terrorist attacks in London, people should, of course, be just extra safe on the streets. But this is a problem that's been hanging over the West for a really long time. Israel, and I know a lot of English people are fed up with it, and they're fed up with talking about Israel, and they're fed up with talking about Ukraine, and don't want us dragged into another war. And I sympathize with those people. I really do. I don't want another war. I want us to avoid war at all costs. But when it comes to the case of Israel, they are the last country in between us and them. They are doing the work of eliminating mass amounts of terrorist organizations. They took out Nasrallah and pretty much the entire command of Hezbollah in a matter of days. And they're doing the work that we should be helping them to deliver. And so when people don't want to support Israel and don't want to support their goals in destroying these evil terrorist organizations who have killed, Nasrallah was responsible for killing hundreds of, maybe thousands of innocent people in Iran. Innocent people, these are foreign terrorists. They go to other countries, they commit atrocities. And if Israel goes, then we're next. They're not going to stop. They're going to go after everyone that's ever been against them. So we must support Israel in this goal. It's an extremely important one, and it's one that I really hope more people can get behind and understand why this is so important.
And it was interesting.
Can I just say one last thing about the issue? Because also these people that come to the UK, and I know this through someone I used to know, they don't actually have Iranian passports. What they do, they go and buy a passport from the Dominican Republic, and they pay like 250k. So they're all technically Dominican Republic citizens, and that's why they can. And I think if you're a Dominican Republic citizen, you can pretty much travel the whole world without a visa. I don't know if it's Dominican Republic or Panama or a few others, or maybe both. But they basically, and some guy came up to me, was like, look, if you can sell me these passports, 250k each, I will give you like 10-20% each. And at the time, this is like 5 years ago, I was like, nah, dude, like who's going to buy 250k for a Panama passport? But all of them, like, this is the fact that they can travel anywhere. Like, dude, they're like literally different place every month. 1 month they're in London, the other month they're in LA, the other month after that they're in Florida, the other month they're in New York, then Dubai, then Thailand. And there's not an issue for them. So they've managed to infiltrate the international system in a way. And it's funny because they don't, send themselves. They send their sons and daughters, and they basically, because they're younger, they can just go and gather information about what's happening in the world and probably infiltrating different institutions. So we have to be very careful, and I feel like there should be a big crackdown on these people. There should be a big crackdown, like, oh, if you are the son of this IRGC member, we will deport you or we will arrest you. We take them for questioning. That kind of a thing needs to happen. Because what does the Islamic Republic of Iran do? They basically arrest innocent civilians that come into Iran, and then they use them to bargain with the United States for billions of dollars in return. So why don't we do that to them? Number one, think about it. Why don't we do that to them? That's just so stupid.
Yeah, just before we move on, Alex, I just want to read out this comment asking if they think Israel are doing this now to help get Trump elected, right? So the argument, I guess, would be made that if Israel makes progress on taking out the terrorists now, that people will think, oh God, let's not reverse that by bringing in Kamala, who's more of a, not going to be as supportive as Israel and perhaps a bit softer on the terrorists. What do you think?
Well, I see what the implication is that there's some sort of collusion to go to war at a time to strengthen Trump's arm. That's not the case. And look, you actually have to look at American foreign policy in total. It is not anti-Israel. America is never going to be anti-Israel, and it's not against American. It's not American foreign policy to be anti-Israel. They may be anti-Netanyahu. That's a different thing. But that's not saying that they won't stop supporting Israel. America is always going to support Israel. That's the case. This war is just a follow-on from the last 18 months almost of the war when Hamas committed that terrorist attack on their people. And quite frankly, and I say this again to any British person watching, if that atrocity was committed in this country, the British people would want us to obliterate whatever was left of that other country. And do not put your feelings to one side and start to understand that this could be our country, and Israel is the first line of defense against more of it. And quite frankly, that any ridiculous comments about there being some sort of collusion to start a war is silly. Trump is the most peaceful president in history, in modern history, should I say.
Yeah, he's the one that didn't start any wars. So I don't understand this narrative, because I was actually speaking to some other person. She was saying, oh, I don't really want Trump to get elected because he's going to come and the war's going to kick off. I was like, what are you talking about? He was already in power for 4 years.
He was already in power.
Ukraine, there was no wars during his
again.
time. And I don't
Everyone
understand
thinks
how
he's
the
gonna
mainstream
start
media
World War III.
still manages to brainwash these people. He was president for 4 years already. There's a body of work. There's evidence there. He doesn't start wars. Peaceful strength. That's what I believe.
Yeah. And just before we move on, I mean, Alex, you made the point there that people need to wake up to the fact that this could be Britain. You think, that's so far in the future, I don't need to worry about that. Human beings, they think short term. But these terrorist organizations, we've got all the different flavors, basically the same thing, Hezbollah, Hamas, ISIS. They're pretty clear. It's we'll go for Israel and then we'll go for the West. Once we've obliterated Israel,
that's their plan.
Then we're coming for America, we're coming for the UK, right? So if we don't stand behind Israel, right, it's not just about, we're not looking after, because the argument is made with Ukraine, right? We should be looking after Brits, we shouldn't be spending money elsewhere on wars that don't matter to us. This does matter, because if Israel goes down, we all could potentially go down.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.